and welcome to the first tour video of the reptile room from our channel, Reptile Cubs UK. If you followed the journey so far, you'll know that I've converted my integral garage into my reptile room. We've done each step, video step by step, and this is everything's moved in. This is the first, none changed way we've got it set out. Obviously things will probably change in the future, but let's show you what we've got and what we're thinking about doing and so on. So firstly, we've got Holly's snake. This is a Mexican black king snake, Lampropeltis nigrita, Getula nigrita. I think I probably butchered that, but somewhere along those lines. We call her Kelly the king snake. She's an awesome colubrid. We do enjoy getting her out, especially when it's sunny in the back garden, because of the iridescence on these snakes. I'd consider it a beginner snake, so if you want one, I'd highly recommend you get one. We got her when she was about as big as that. We kept her in a 12x12x12, and now she's in this Exoterra, but she's not going to be in this Exoterra for long because we are moving her into this 4x2x2. This is what I housed one of the boas in to start with, but now the boas are in the bigger vivs. So this is spare, so I've cleaned it out. We're going to do a custom background for her, and then she'll be going in there. So she won't be in this Exoterra for much longer. And then moving on to our next animal is another one of Holly's. This is the red-eyed croc skink, or the Tribolonotus gracilis. Just to take a quick note of these identification tags are. So these was gifted to us from our friends over at T&N Reptiles. Check their YouTube channel out. They brought them for us and they've got some for themselves. So basically they brought us one for this, one for another one, and the boas. What Ollie is currently in the process of doing is basically making them for the tarantulas as well. So she's now got the bits and bobs, and she's going to basically make her own design. So that'll be something to look forward to. Hopefully it'll do well and we can start selling them. But yeah, this is the red-eyed croc skink anyway. This is our only wild-caught specimen we've got, and it's the only one we will have. We didn't enjoy the process of quarantining it and making sure that it was, not got parasites or anything, so yeah, we'll probably won't do that anymore. However, we do want to breed this female, so we'll probably look for a captive bred female for her. Sorry, a captive bred male, and then try and get some eggs off her. But yeah, might have to put her in a bigger enclosure, we'll see. But this is probably my favourite custom background I've made so far. There is a video of this being built on my channel. Try and take a quick look at it again. I think it's the waterfall that I love, and the all the the bioactive setup. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. And then we'll move on to the tarantulas quick. So we started with tarantulas before anything else, before we started getting into reptiles. We did have a lot more, but we decided to downsize so we could get a bit more of, get into the reptile side a bit more. There's two enclosures that I've recently done, which I really am happy with. The rest of them are going to be redone and hopefully done a lot better. But we'll go through what we've got at the minute, and we can move on. So this is probably my favourite girl. It's between there and the other one, the Smithy. So this is the Grammostola pulchra, or the Brazilian black. Adult female. I had to go breeding her, and the male successfully bred with her, but she molted out like 6 weeks later, so I should have really took that into consideration, but it's a learning curve. Then we've got the Kelly here, which we've had for about 2 years. It doesn't seem to grow. Itillocatl albipilosus, if I probably butchered that as well. It'll just be me butchering names all day long. This is our OG, the Brachypelma bome, Mexican fireleg. Absolutely love this species. I think they're so pretty and majestic. Awesome eaters as well. Highly recommend these. But again, another slow grower. Then we've got our only scorpion, the Heterometrus silenus, Asian forest scorpion. It might be the Malaysian forest scorpion anyway, but yeah, it's another good scorpion. And I don't know if you know this about scorpions, but this is a cool little feature if you're interested. Well, it's come over here a lot. The glow under black light. Yeah, I thought that's pretty cool. Yeah. And then moving on. So we've got the Antilles Pinto, the Carabiner versicolor. That's another one of Holly's. And that's just a sling. Another decent eater. And then my joint favourite with the pulcra is the Brachypelma smithy, the true Mexican redknee. If you can see it all, it's probably a bit difficult. It's not the Hamorai, it is definitely the smithy. I know there was a bit of a mix between them. I got a CITES number, I think, with this one. Then coming down to another one of Holler's, it's a very a feisty one. This is the Brazilian white knee, or the Acanthoscaria geniculata. Awesome eater, scares me. And then we've got the pumpkin patch. Holly hasn't put the letter name on this, but once we get those logos done, we'll get one. And then the Theraphosa stami, the queen of the tarantulas. Well, the queen of our tarantulas. Not fully grown yet, still juvenile size. But the Burgundy Glyph Bird Eater, hopefully she'll become a monster. That'd be awesome. That's it in terms of the inverts at the moment. We've got a few spare vivs. Obviously, we've got some that are going to be going into bigger vivs when we need to. But we'll have a few spare, so we're open to get another scorpion and maybe a Pac-Man frog or something. We're not sure yet. These are my two boas. So I've got one for my birthday and one for Valentine's Day. This is Wallace, my BCI, which we'll show you the viv in a minute. And this is William, the Malagasy ground boa. I absolutely love these. They have to be hung straight away. And then moving over to this picture here of me with Creatures Cabin's boss man, the Nadja carachiensis. I think I've got that right, the B-Pack. I did my intermediate venomous course with Dan and Jamie over at Creatures Cabin. I got to handle a bunch of vipers, a bunch of elapids, the Mexican beaded lizard, and everything they do is professional and by the book. I couldn't recommend them more. Me and Holly are hoping to do a course of them later in the year, and then I'm going to go on to do my advance with them. Highly recommend them. They also sold me the Malagasy ground boa as well. Full of knowledge, probably the best in the area, so I do highly recommend them. And then we've got the doormat that Holly made for me, the Reptile Cribs UK doormat. It's another good gift. And then before we go on to the boas vids, my beasts that I really enjoy making, we'll have a quick throw on to the sponsor Reptile Keeping. If you're not already a member, guys, why not? Check them out. They're doing absolutely amazing for us. They're fighting for us. As you're aware, there's a lot of people that don't believe in keeping exotic animals. They think that we keep them inappropriately or they shouldn't be kept at homes. These guys are, going against everyone and trying to battle for us. So we need to, support them as much as possible, really. And then we'll move on to the final two animals. So this top viv is Wallace, the BCI. He's over here, look, on his perch. If you can get that on. So we're not actually sure what morph he is or what locality he is. I don't think he's got a morph in him. I think he's like just a locality. He's a rescue. We're not sure of his age. We was told he was about a year, but I've had him for a year now, so he's probably about 2. He's only about 3.5 foot. I feed him pretty regularly. He gets fed every 2 weeks. Diversified meals and sizes. I don't give him anything too big regularly, and I don't give him anything too small. He'll go from multi-mammoths to rats to gerbils. I haven't given him any hamsters or anything like that yet, but I try to, let's say, diversify the weight. So like, for example, 1 week he'll get a 50 gram rat, and then the next feeding session he'll get something like a 90 gram. Obviously I don't get anything bigger, too much bigger than his fattest part, but you know what I mean. But yeah, so it doesn't seem to grow much. We think, looking at his pattern, he might have Hog Island in him or Claw K, but without actually, doing the research and getting a shed and counting the scales and doing all that stuff you have to do, it's impossible to tell. But anyway, this is the enclosure. To be honest, this is probably my favourite one out of the two. Custom made hide, custom made ledge, custom made water dish holder. So if you haven't watched the video, what I did is I used polystyrene background, and then I obviously cut the other bits of polystyrene to make ledges and cut into it, and then I used towel grout, instant towel grout from Wix, coated it on about 3 or 4 times, and then once I was happy with that and it fully dried, sprayed on some acrylic paint in the cracks and what have you, and then finally I put pond sealant on it, which is polyurethane plastic polyurethane. The worst part about the process was the smell from the polyurethane, but I didn't move any animals in until it was fully clear. I left the glass out for about 2 weeks, left the fan running every other day, and then the final week I basically ran all the heating system up and then intervalled it, so I had the heating running, then turned it off, and then I left it running to try and get rid of the smell. There's no smell now, it's gone. And then moving on to the bottom one, this is William the Malagasy ground boa. Not the Doomless boa, people get mistaken between the two. This is the largest snake in Madagascar. So this was the first attempt on the background. I'm not as pleased with this one, but either way, it's still decent and it'll do. William will probably outgrow this, going off what I've heard about Malagasy ground boas. They can get up to 10 feet apparently. I'm assuming that just means females. He is very slow growing, but he's already as big as Wallace the BCI. As you can tell, I know he's a ground boa, but I have given him the opportunity to climb if he wants to. I know they can't climb very well, but it's nice to have the opportunity to, I believe. He's got 3 eyes. He seems to be favouring the smaller one at the moment, which I understand because he's still the smallest self. But yeah, these are my 2 boas, my 2 babies. And I'm running both these Vivs on a microclimate Evo 3. Correct, yeah. So both are running off that. And I'm on the timer. And then we've still got this spare Viv, the 3 foot long, be 4 foot high, be 2 foot deep. And I'm thinking about putting a Boega in there, Boega melanota or Dendrophilia. I just love that species of colubrid. It would be great to get one when the time's right. I need to decorate this and sort it out first, and then we'll be looking for one. Obviously, I'd like to get a young one to start with, so I won't be going in there straight away. And then we've got this other spare Viv down here, which again, we're not sure what we're going to put in it yet. I don't plan on having a ton of animals, but I do want to have enough so the room's full. But every animal I do get, I want it to have the perfect sort of home, so it can, we can live well. Don't believe in rack systems. That's never going to happen unless I have babies. Then I get that. But for adults, it shouldn't happen. I don't agree with it. This is my little workstation. So I've got all my books for knowledge and my F10. Little snake hook. Not like I need it at the minute. And my gun and all the rest of it. And then I've also, this is another one of Holly's creations, Tarantula malt bin, which I think is a good idea. I don't know where she see it, but she mimicked it, and we've got one, which I think is pretty cool. Because it's good to get them out and show people when they come out and have a look at what your animals. I just popped Kelly back then, so yeah. I thought I'd have Kelly out as the little friendly girl to do the tour with. So yeah, this shoe's pretty much too big for this Viv now. This XO Terror, but she won't be in it for too much longer. She's a good snake, but she does musk. So I believe that's everything in terms of the room, guys. Obviously, like I said, things will change. We do plan on getting a few other bits and bobs and moving things around. I have a few animals on my bucket list I really want to own. One will be a black dragon, but I just don't think I can make space for it. I've been measuring up the walls and working out if I could, if I can, I'm not sure. Obviously the Boega, and I'd love a tree monitor. So there's loads of animals I want, but I need to make sure that I can house them. That's the bottom line. If you like the video, guys, please give us a like and subscribe and share. Ask away if you've got any questions about how I've designed them vids. And how we're going to do this. That'll be the next video probably, is me building this one for Holly's king snake. But we're just going to keep putting away with videos and hopefully build up a decent fan base and followers, and then that way we can just learn and build together. That's what we're hoping to do. And thank you ever so much, and we'll see you in the next one.